organizers for allowing the opportunity to introduce you to Enteris. So Enteris is a drug delivery company, and our main focus is on the oral delivery of BCS class 2, 3, and 4 molecules, with peptides being a subset of class 3 and 4. And Enteris is a relatively new company. We were formed a couple months ago, but we do have quite a bit of history. We acquired assets from Unigene Laboratories and their oral peptide delivery technology, and then have expanded that into small molecules as well. We were also able to retain many of the key members of the scientific staff, so we have all the experience and in-house capabilities there. And from a commercial standpoint, we see for chronic indications, an increase in product uptake over injectables, more patient starts, better patient compliance, and it also provides a compelling differentiation to other molecules going after the same targets. We have extensive IP protection till 2030, and also offers lifecycle management for already approved products that are available only by injection. So you all know the difficulties to delivering a peptide orally, and it's the GI tract is designed to break these molecules up. Susceptibility to protease degradation, low permeability through the intestine, and a lot of inter and intra-subject variability. So this technology is proven in the clinic to get around these issues, and I'll sort of explain how we do that. We use an enteric-coated tablet. Don't know where the pointer is, but enteric-coated tablet to bypass the stomach. We find we get a lot less food and water effect that way. Once in the duodenum, the enteric coat dissolves, releasing our two main excipients, an organic acid, which acts as a protease inhibitor, and an acyl carnitine, which acts as a permeation enhancer. It creates a small microenvironment within the intestine. Sorry, there we go. Do you know how to, can you get me back to that? Thank you. So a small microenvironment inside the intestine where the peptide remains active and is able to transport paracellularly across the intestines. And then we've seen that once the permeation enhancer is removed, within about a half hour, the tight junctions revert back to normal. There's a lot of studies done in the literature and also what we've seen in-house. Can you go to the next slide? This is just a crude schematic of our tablet. On the outside, as I mentioned, we have an enteric coat. Underneath that is a subcoat, and that's to allow the enteric coat to dissolve completely, because we don't want any of the excipients leaching out, because then that would further prevent the enteric coat from dissolving. And then just a lot of optimization over the years as far as dissolution, hardness, friability. Up on the top there is one of our tablets compared to a Centrum Daily Multivitamin. And actually recently, we've actually developed a tablet half that size. I don't have a picture of it, that's been able to perform just as well. As far as safety of the excipients, the organic acid is nothing more than citric acid. It's readily available, pharmaceutically accepted ingredient. And the acyl carnitine, we've done extensive tox studies on that. It's been in multiple clinical trials, and we're very comfortable with that. We also recently filed a DMF for access for partners to cross-reference. As far as the clinical experience, it's been through a positive phase 3 trial of oral calcitonin, positive phase 2 oral PTH, another phase 2 calcitonin. And then last year, our partner, Cara Therapeutics, had a positive phase 1 study with their kappa opioid pain peptide, which I'll discuss a little bit later. And then in-house programs, we have a pipeline of about 15 to a little bit more now sponsored programs that are test driving our technology and going through development. So when we bring in a molecule to test, we typically do a rat model and then a dog. We do dog because we find a very good correlation between dosing in man and in dog and in human. And we also see a very good correlation between, linearity between doses. This table shows a range of maybe about 10 peptides in the various bioavailability levels we saw in preclinical models in rat and dog. With this range of peptides, bioavailability unformulated was less than 1% to 6%. And then with our technology, we were able to dramatically increase that. And again, it's very peptide specific, from 10 to 30%. And then in dog, from undetectable to less than 1% unformulated to still less than 1% up to 22% formulated. So we are able to get pretty drastic increases in oral bioavailability. And all this data is compared to IV. This graph shows Cara, who I mentioned before. They had came to us when we were Unigene early on and wanted to formulate their kappa opioid pain peptide. They had already had it in the clinic for acute pain and wanted to get into a more chronic dosing regimen for chronic pain. So we did feasibility studies for them, saw relatively good bioavailability in preclinical models. And then they did a phase 1 trial where, and saw 16% oral bioavailability in man, which we were very excited about. And then this goes to variability. This is a phase 2 study with oral PTH. PTH is a very labile peptide. And this just shows PK from week 0 and 24. So we're able to get a very reproducible PK profile. This is the oral phase 3 calcitonin study. That was going through as a 505(b)(2) to the comparator nasal calcitonin. We were actually able to show better efficacy with our oral tablets. And then when we work with a partner, we'll do some paper worksheets to try to understand the characteristics of that molecule and what it's going to take to develop an oral formulation. Then we'll start out with some solubility permeability studies, moving into a rat model where we'll do an intraduodenal injection of a liquid, which simulates a tablet going through the intestines and simulates opening up in the intestines. We've shown it to be a very good model to let us know if our technology is able to deliver a peptide, that specific peptide orally. From there, we'll go into a solid dosage form in a dog model. And we'll start off with capsules. We use capsules at first just because require less API, easier to develop. And then, depending on the partner's wish to move forward, we'll go into designing the tablet, which would be the end product. So we do a lot of stability, design space, and tablet optimization, and we do all of this work in-house, so we have all the capabilities to do that. And then from there, we can go on to clinical trial manufacturing through phase 2. We have a GMP plant in Boulder, New Jersey. Sort of explains our tablet manufacturing. It's important to note that our manufacturing process doesn't require anything exotic. It's a simple dry blending and compression process. And just to wrap up, Enteris focuses on oral drug delivery, including peptides. We have a validated delivery technology and robust IP out to 2030. Are there any questions? Yes.